Hello, this is Mike Latham at Collector Knives. I just got in a new round of the lionSteel Euro Barlow. Got in the shuffler. I'll have the round head in a few weeks, and a few weeks after that we'll have the dom. But there's like 15 new variations of this knife. This one you can see it's got the blue anodized titanium. There's also bronze anodized titanium. There's a Damascus blade, and then there's a Damascus blade and bolster set. And it's a Damasteel, Damascus, and so, like I say, those different components, there's a lot of different variations out there now, and all the way from a reasonable price point to a premium price point. Once you get a lot of that Damasteel, it's the super dense pattern. Uh, but anyway, this is, this is the knife. This is, like I say, this is the anodized blue natural canvas micarta, and then just the standard M390 blade. But that's not really why I was making the video. Why I was going to make the video is to show you, for those that haven't looked at other videos or haven't figured it out on their own, it's going to show you how, if you want to change the action. Most of them I've seen are fine. I've just, you know, uh, the snap is good. Every once in a while I'll find one that's a little tight. This one's not, so I'm going to make it tight once I get in there and then fix it. So I'm going to break it and then fix it for you. But anyway, T6 and a T8 is what you need on the Torx heads. T6 on the bolster. So let me get into this thing. It's the front bolster. That's where the adjustment is. Okay. Once you set that bolster off, okay. So here's the pivot. It's a T8, but right quick, let me take a little detour here and show you something a little new. Previously, this stop pin, it sits down in here to stop the blade. Uh, it floated in the middle between the liners. It just had shoulders on it, and so they would set it between the liners, and the shoulders would go in the holes, and then it would float in there. But I had requested, and they implemented it perfectly, to go ahead, because what we had at that point is we had the whole frame being held together back here and at the pivot. And there's, in previous releases, there was a little more daylight here in between the back spring and the liner than what I liked, and it went a little further down. Now we're never going to get rid of it because we've got some bronze phosphor washers in here, and so the way they sit in there, you can see the blade's not the same thickness as the back spring, and so the back spring's thin for relief, and so it's just there's always going to be a little bit of gap in there, but it looked pronounced on some of them because what the people were looking down in this well, and they could see the shoulders on that stop pin, and when they saw the shoulders, they thought the pin was in there crooked, or the pin had got wedged and it was causing a gap. Well, it wasn't. Obviously it was it just floated in there, but I also wanted a little more uh, structure to the frame here. So what we did is we threaded this and turned it into a Torx that comes in from this side and then threads into the other side, so it holds that frame together uh, just down from the pivot. So I don't know if that makes sense or not, but just one little minor adjustment. That's the only adjustment we really made other than the variations in this run. And they did, like I said, they did an outstanding job. Those guys that are making custom bolsters, custom parts for this, they're going to have to make a little tweak to go ahead and drill out a little more in the bolster for that, because that head's there now. But anyway, okay. So let me first of all, because this thing, that's about where you should, it should go on its own. So like I say, this one is, it's set just like I like them, but I'm going to tighten it up just a little bit and kind of get it bound. And well, Okay. So if you're too tight, then you'll get like down here at this, you know, what, 20, 25-degree angle, and it won't go ahead and pop open. I mean, you can feel the resistance there. And this one, I really got it tight, so it's not going to do anything. But what you do is just go in here with your T8 onto this pivot pin, and then just counterclockwise it, loosen it off until you get your snap back. Okay. Once that snaps back, then try it. Okay, it's still not going into half stop. Still doesn't have much action there. Okay, so I'm going to put that back up there where it should be popping into half stop. I'm going to back it off a little more. Okay, so let's check it. That's probably as good as we're going to get. That's pretty nice. I mean, you can adjust it to exactly like you want it. That's about where I want it right there. But anyway, so that's how you adjust that pivot, and just, you know, so you don't have to worry about doing it and testing it and doing it and testing it. Just put that thing to where, you know, like you think it ought to go ahead and pop. And like I said, it's about 25 degrees right there. You shouldn't have to go any further than that. That right there is the kind of the kicker. So anyway, that is how you do it. I mean, that's just a quick adjustment. Just make sure you have the T6 and T8, and make sure you don't booger those torques up. You know, just make sure you got a good seat before you start trying to twist them, and everything will go pretty much fine. A lot of people ask if on that adjustment if they need Loctite on it. I've never used Loctite on them, and I've never had a problem, so I don't think. Uh, but if you want to back it out of there before you start adjusting it and put some Loctite on it, then be my guest, and then get it adjusted the way you want it, and then just set it down for, you know, 8 or 10 hours, and let it set up. But again, that's the quick adjustment. Like other people have shown it, but I just wanted to give a quick look because, you know, I check as many as I can. Sometimes I've got a bunch of stuff to get out in a little amount of time, and I don't have time to just check every one of them. But if you get one that's a little too tight or a little too loose, that is how you'll do the adjustment. Thank you very much, and please let me know if I can help you with anything else. Bye.